Hello and welcome to another video. My name is Em or Emrulo Art, and today I'm going to be experimenting with acrylic paint markers. And I did do a video on my channel a couple weeks ago for Easter that I was using paint markers in, but I had already gotten used to them a little bit. And now this video is kind of one of the first times I ever used them, so this is what I'm showing you, what I kind of learned from that experience. So I first had drawn this sort of fallen over tree stump, and I thought it would be a good one to try the paint markers with. I started out with this sort of darkish brown reddish color, and it's one of my favorite, turns out to be one of my favorite colors, and I was already having a lot of fun. This marker you're going to see a lot. It's one of the only darker colors, and I had gotten it in a pack of Arctic's markers maybe like 2 years ago, a year ago, I'm not sure, but it still works great, and it is the only like really dark brown that I could like find that I had from them. So I have to use it because I really like to have a lot of contrast, and this was giving me the contrast that I needed. So I was kind of having trouble with blending. I was trying to figure that out. That was my sort of thing. I had watched a lot of videos on YouTube about a lot of people using them and how they were using them, and I was seeing mostly it was sort of just there wasn't too much blending going on. You can blend them a little bit, but I wanted to figure out a way to try and blend them a little bit more, because coming from using alcohol markers, I do like to blend a lot. So I wasn't expecting the same thing, but I just wanted to see what I could get away with, really. And I did find that if you go over top while the two colors that you're using are still wet, you can get a pretty good blend. So you can blend a little bit. And I did find now in the future, after using them for a while, I've found other ways to blend them as well that I will let you know about in a bit. But yeah, so now I'm just doing some highlights, and while that dries, I decided to do another sketch in this other sketchbook that I was checking out, and I just wanted to keep it loose and just go straight onto the paper without even doing a pencil sketch. I just really wanted to have fun with the brushes on the markers, and I just wanted to draw trees because you know me. If you know me, you know I love just drawing trees. And so this time I went in again with the marker from the older pack that I've had, which still works, also still really good. I barely used them before, that's probably why. And I always kept them on their side too. I think that's pretty important. And so I just decided to start with a base kind of mid-tone color for the tree part, and then do that dark color again as the shadow. And I was also looking up on Pinterest a lot of paintings and work from, I believe the name is Avend Earl, and it's the person that did Sleeping Beauty concept art, and basically there's lots of other art that he's done in his life, but he's dead now. But he's really famous for doing Sleeping Beauty, and that's the kind of things I've been really looking into a lot. And yeah, so then I had to do the top of this tree, and I never do the tops of trees, and there's a reason for that, and it's because I hate it. I hate drawing leaves. I hate doing them, but I really want to get good at it this year. So I've been trying to find different creative ways to express trees without getting into too much detail. I just want to like show that leaves exist and are there. And by fall, I want to be able to do some cool fall trees. That's kind of my goal. So I'm going to be practicing a lot of trees. I hope that's okay. And I did have fun doing this, and I think that the tops of the tree turned out really well. I think the tree looks like a big tree, and yeah, so it was a good exercise. And again, it was really fun to keep it loose and sketchy, and I wasn't too worried about it, just trying to check out the markers and have fun. All the markers I'm using here are from Arctics, but you don't have to use these in order to do this same kind of thing. You can even paint this if you want to with acrylic paint, or I'm sure you could do it with gouache, this kind of style. But I was just checking out these markers, and they had ended up giving me some markers as well. So I do like the brush tip and everything, but I'm just letting you know, like, you don't have to use this exact kind, and you don't have to use these colors either, because I've seen some people do like really cool adventurous things with colors with paint markers. They use all different kinds of colors because there is a limited color palette, I think, that when you get kind of a pack. And so that's really fun too, something to look into if you wanted to. And I did like a light purple for the highlights on this tree, and then I had to let it dry. You don't have to let it dry for too long, but since I had 2 drawings on the go in one day, I was just kind of going back and forth to make sure everything was quite dry, because both of these sketchbooks I'm working in aren't exactly mixed media paper. They're pretty lightweight paper, so I didn't want it to start ripping up and pilling, like sometimes that happens when you use paint markers on certain papers. So I didn't want that to happen, so that's why I'm going back and forth. And these rocks I was pretty happy with how it was like kind of see-through as well. Oh yeah, and I put a tiny mouse in there, and I put another mouse, and I put a lot of tiny mushrooms and small things. And I think with the markers, the paint markers, with little control of how like accurate you can get the tip to work, I think it's a little bit hard to do really tiny things, but I'm going to use my pen and figure it out to do the outlines and stuff. So I didn't think about that. You can really only go so small when you're using paint markers. And I like to use an alcohol marker in the background because I thought it would be cool to make it look kind of like just a different effect, like a transparent background, as if a forest is like foggy or rainy. That's kind of the vibe I was going for, so that the foreground is really clear and the background looks kind of misty. And so I kind of really liked how that turned out. I just did some little trees in the back just to kind of have something going on back there. And one thing I'll tell you is that water doesn't move acrylic paint because it's permanent once it's dry, but alcohol will move acrylic paint because it's alcohol. So if you're using a mix of alcohol markers and acrylic paint markers, or just acrylic paint, definitely be careful because it gives a cool effect. But I would almost just go as far as recommending just put the alcohol marker down first and then paint on top of everything, because if you even touch an edge of that paint with the alcohol marker, it is going to smudge like everywhere, and it's pretty like hard to get rid of. So just keep that in mind. It's a cool look, but I was like struggling after. So anyways, now I'm just doing the highlights on the stump, and I'm just kind of seeing like what more can I do? How far can I go? Some nice shadows. If you look up Avon Earl's work on Pinterest, or even watch the movie Sleeping Beauty, you'll see that there's a really high contrast, lots of really cool shadows. It gives such a creepy look. I didn't do it well here, but I'm just saying, like, I've been obsessed with like looking up Sleeping Beauty, and I've been watching it, and it really is really, really nice and beautiful, the art from that movie. And I've not really seen it done again as well as that. It's really a special movie, so check it out. And obviously you have checked it out. I don't even know why I'm saying that. Everybody's seen Sleeping Beauty, but you can like look up Avon Earl and you'll see some really cool art. And with the moss, this is where I kind of discovered that with these markers, and I guess acrylic paint and things of this nature, it is okay to go dark to light. And with markers, I was so used to going from light to dark that it was like a fun realization that I was like, oh, I can actually do whatever I want and just go over top of it because it's okay. These markers are opaque. Like, it's forgiving, it's fun. And that's where I started to like really realize how much potential like this kind of thing, and also painting in general, like has. And I was kind of starting to think like maybe I should start painting. Maybe this is like something that's really for me. So not that I'm gonna ever stop using alcohol markers, but it's just I'm really, really enjoying doing different stuff. And again, this year, along with learning new things, I'm trying to experiment and help myself gain more knowledge and understand more different media and different ways to color and different values. And these are just the first kind of sketches I did with acrylic markers, and I had a lot of fun just winging it. And I wish I could do more loose, fun sketching days like that, because it was really no pressure and I liked it. I hope it's okay. They're not like the best drawings in the whole world because they are my kind of first attempts, but I hope you can gain something from watching me learn how to use them and kind of the things that I was realizing as I went along. I had seen some people doing the bounce shadow or the reflective light look in a brighter color with these paint markers, so I decided I want to try that. And for this tree, I did it in pink. If I do it again, I would probably do the purple that I use for the highlights and kind of switch the warm and cool colors, but no matter. And I brought the same pink up into the tree for some little flowers, and just because I wanted to bring it everywhere and kind of unify everything, and just add a little bit more warmer colors up there in general. And then I just wanted to have some leaves falling down and just something to sort of fill in the empty space and decorate the picture a little bit. And if you've made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have fun experimenting with art this week, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye!